What's up, guys? How's it going? I have a big problem. Okay. I have a big problem. Okay. I've been making these videos about how the 58, 59, 60, these golden era Les Pauls are not the greatest guitar in the world. Right. And this dude, Tom Bukovac, Uncle Teabag, Uncle Larry, whatever his name is, wants to come in and insult me. He wants to come in and talk trash. He doesn't actually ever say anything constructive. He never actually comes up with any point regarding the 58, the 59, or the 60 Les Paul. He doesn't come up with any relevant points. None of them. Nothing. Right? And so I've been doing these sound comparisons, right? Where I go in and I make a sound similar to the 59. Okay. And my sounds are close. They're dead on a few of these things. And I'm doing it just to show you that the 59 is not the greatest guitar ever made, that you can achieve that tone in the modern day if you want. I'm not even saying you have to do that, right? Because I don't even think the 59 is the greatest sounding guitar ever. Okay. But if you wanted to, you wouldn't have to spend 350 grand, 180 grand, 225 grand to get the sound if that's what you're after. No, I understand historically this is, one of a kind, but I got to tell you, I'm going to do a video on how these guitars get faked. There may be as many fakes out there as there are real ones. Literally, there could be let's say there's 800 guitars out there, 400 could be real and 400 could be fakes. That's how many fakes are out there. And it could be higher. We don't even know. Nobody knows. Okay. But historically, I understand you want to own the guitar. That's great. But don't tell me it's the greatest sounding guitar ever. Okay. And so when I come up with these points on why it's not the greatest sounding guitar ever, all Tom does is insult me. All he does is insult me. And I told Tom in some of these comments, I said, Tom, you better pray that I don't start watching your videos. I can't watch a whole video from the guy. I can't stomach watching a whole video of this guy. I literally cannot make it through a video of this guy rambling incoherently and stringing up a guitar on a bench or playing through some sloppy version of some pre-made garbage song. I can't even do it. And I said, Tom, you're criticizing me and you're criticizing my guitar playing. You better pray I don't go over your videos and watch your technique because I'm in the 10,000 hour club, buddy. Okay. I'm in the 10,000 hour club, dude. See, Tom has always said, well, there's only out of a million guitar players, only 1,000 that can actually play guitar. Okay, Tom, that means that the other 999,000 or 990,000 are being fooled, right, by your technique because they can't get it right. They're not good enough. They don't know. Well, guess what, Tom? I'm in the 10,000 hour club. And if I was to study some of your videos, your sloppy videos where you just slop through a song, and I started critiquing it for real, you get ripped apart, dude. You will get ripped apart. Okay. And I haven't done that out of respect. I said, let Tom have his little, just let him have just let him, whatever. First of all, you see this guy, right? You see this guy in a studio, massive studio, one of the biggest studios in Nashville. This guy's played on hundreds of records. So now you're a guitar player, right? You've been playing maybe 5, maybe 10 years, whatever. Okay. I've been playing since I was 9 years old. Okay. I went to go see Chet Atkins in a guitar store. Okay. I saw Chet Atkins was the first guitar player I really saw in person. And let me tell you something. He is great. He makes Tom Bukovac look like he's playing in a school sandbox with his ukulele. Okay. So one of the first guys I was ever exposed to was Chet Atkins. And Chet Atkins was doing a clinic to sell guitars at the store. So, of course, I said, Dad, I want a guitar. So I got a guitar, 9 years old. I got my first guitar when I was 4. Okay. Just banged around on it, whatever. But I got my first real guitar when I was 9. Okay. So I've been playing a long time. You see Tom in the studio, right? And he's played on hundreds of records. He's in one of the biggest studios in the world, definitely in Nashville. And you think, well, this guy must know what he's talking about. Look at him. It's Tom Bukovac, his Uncle Teabag. He knows what he's talking about. Guess what, guys? He doesn't. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Okay. First of all, the guy lies constantly. Okay. That's outside of not knowing what he's talking about. He lies constantly. Okay. And he's lying to himself. So, of course, he's lying to you. Okay. So then when you call him out on his lies, which I do, he just, oh, well, you don't even know. He doesn't have anything. He's got nothing because he knows he's lying. Listen to this. This is proof. Now, if anybody wants proof of Tom's incompetence, here it is. Just watch it. He's talking about the 58 Les Paul. This is entitled Tom Bukovac on a 58 Gibson Les Paul Standard. His baby puke. This guitar is named Baby Puke because it looks like a baby puked on it. Now, he's in the studio explaining why this guitar is the greatest guitar ever made. And listen to what he says here.
Came out with those records, the first Dino.
First off, he's talking about Eric Clapton playing a 59 through a Marshall.
With those records, the first Dino John Mayall record.
Let me back it up here a little bit for you so you can kind of get where he's coming from. A lot of my older friends told me what an impact Eric Clapton had.
Clapton stuff was on the world, like when he came out with those records, the first.
When he came out with those records, okay? No, Tom. Eric Clapton played a 59 Gibson on one record. One record, Tom. See, this is one of the lies about this Les Paul. Oh, Eric Clapton played it. Eric Clapton played it on one record. One time on one record. That's it. Eric Clapton has a signature model Stratocaster. He's a Strat player. He literally plays the Stratocasters off the wall from the custom shop. He gets his custom shop Eric Clapton model Strat and he plays it at a show. That's what he does. Doesn't search out a 59 Les Paul. You don't think Eric Clapton could have like 159 Les Pauls by now if he wanted? No. Once his Les Paul got stolen, he just said, well, move on. So here's one of the best guitar players of all time, one of the highest ranking guitar players of all time, who had a 59, who never bothered to get another one. Or if he did get one, maybe he got one to collect, maybe he never played one. And if he played it, he didn't play it that often. So Tom's claiming Eric Clapton played this on records.
Impact Eric Clapton stuff was on the world, like when he came out with those records, the first Dino John Mayall record.
On those records, on that first record. So it wasn't records, Tom. It was record. And he's correct. It's the Dino record.
He was the first guy that ever took this guitar, which is a fairly new instrument at the time, plugged it into a Marshall amp and turned it up and got that big, fat, creamy tone that these guitars are known for, right?
Okay. Agreed, Tom. Agreed. Here we go once again with the incompetence. Listen to this.
That these guitars are known for, right? Also, it's called the woman tone, right?
It's called the woman tone, right? So, go ahead, Tom. Explain this to us.
When you take a burst and a Marshall, and you turn that burst up to 10, that tone is the woman tone. That is what it is called when a Marshall and a burst are on 10. the woman tone.
Okay, listen. He's claiming. Now, this is Mr. Nashville, Mr. Bukovac, Mr. Know Everything, right? Mr. Gets on my channel, tells me, yeah. And he's on a professionally produced video in one of the biggest studios in Nashville, possibly the world, with one of the most expensive guitars, one of the most sought after guitars, one of the greatest sounding guitars ever, and listen to the bullshit.
One that these guitars are known for, right? Also, it's called the woman tone, right? You've heard a lot of talk about that.
Eric Clapton was the first guy to put this guitar into an amp and turn it up.
And turned it up and got that big, fat, creamy tone that these guitars are known for, right? Also, it's called the woman tone, right? You've heard a lot of tone.
No, it's not, Tom. By the way, Tom, you're wrong. By the way, Tom, no. Tom, by the way, absolutely not. You heard what he said. Eric Clapton was the first guy to go into a studio and turn a Marshall up and get that creamy tone. It's also called the woman tone. Also, it's called the woman tone, right? No, that's not the woman tone, dude. Here's Eric Clapton talking about the woman tone, by the way. Here he is.
The lead pickup with all the bass off.
It's created with the pickups with the tone turned all the way off to nothing. That's how you get the woman tone. You don't get the woman tone by plugging into a Marshall and cranking it up to 10, Tom.
In fact, if you use both pickups, you should take all the bass off on the tone control. That is to turn it down to 1 or 0. You know.
See, turn the tone control down to 1 or 0. Notice Eric Clapton, Tom, does not say you get the woman tone by plugging into a Marshall and turning it up to 10. That's Tom Bukovac's version of the story.
Clamp and turned it up and got that big, fat, creamy tone that these guitars are known for, right? Also, it's called the woman tone, right? You've heard a lot of talk about that. This guitar is...
No, Tom, that's not the woman tone. Eric Clapton explained to you the woman tone is when you take the tone knob and you turn it to 1 or 0.
On the tone control, and then turn the volume full up. You know, and it's supposed to sound like this.
Tom, also notice that Eric is playing an SG. Also notice Eric is playing an SG.
The sound of raunchy rhythm guitars on like Kiss records.
See, here we go with some more bullshit. See, this is why I have a problem. People listen to this guy. See, okay, look, there's a lot of guys that may be fooled by this joker. I'm not fooled by Tom. Like I said, I'm in the 10,000 hour club. You'd be hard pressed to do something I haven't seen, or talk about something I haven't heard about, or you'd be hard pressed. Okay, I've done a lot of guitar playing. I've studied a lot of guitar. Okay, and he's just wrong. And he's talking about Kiss. Okay, he says, well, these 58. He's trying to hype up the 58. He's trying to hype up the 58. And see, this is why I'm making these videos, because it's bullshit. A 58 has nothing to do with Kiss. Okay, when I was a little kid, like a lot of little kids, when I was a young man and I'd go out and buy music, I loved Kiss. I mean, you're 10, 11, 12 years old. I loved Kiss. I loved the band. Okay, I had all their records. I had every record they ever put out. Okay, I've heard them ad infinitum. I know so many Kiss riffs, it's staggering. Okay, and Tom gets on here and has the nerve to say that the 58 is somehow related to Kiss. Listen to this.
raunchy rhythm guitars on like Kiss records. And
This guitar,
how about that? This guitar is the sound of raunchy rhythm guitars on like Kiss records.
no, it's not, Tom. Tom, no, it's not. Absolutely. See, this shows the arrogance, the ego, the narcissism to believe that he somehow just says, "Oh, well, this guitar right here, this 58, this is the sound of the guitar on all those early Kiss records." Tom, no, it's not. No, it's not. The 59 Les Paul I bought before recording my 78 solo album. So Ace Frehley's talking about his 59 Les Paul. I bought it before recording my 78 solo album. Okay. Here you go, Tom. Here's a Kiss discography in case you don't know about Kiss. Their first record, 1974, no 58 burst. Their second record, Hotter Than Hell, 1974, no 58 burst. Dressed to Kill, 75, no 58 burst. Alive, no burst. Destroyer, no burst. Rock and Roll Over, no burst. Love Gun, no burst. So the greatest Kiss records of all time, not one of them did Ace Frehley use a burst on. Not one. Not one of these records. Okay. And by the way, furthermore, Mr. Studio guy, Mr. Session guy, Mr. I know about everything guy, listen to what Ace says in this ultimateguitar.com interview. It's always been Les Paul for you? Well, I have to be honest with you, on all the Kiss records, they're Fender guitars. One of the tricks I used on a rhythm track with the Les Paul, I doubled it with the Stratocaster. You take the Les Paul, but when you blend it together with the Fender, you get a thicker sound. I've been doing that forever. So not only is Ace Frehley not using a burst, Tom, not only is Ace Frehley on early Kiss records with a raunchy rhythm sound not using a burst, he's not even just using a Les Paul. He's using his Les Paul, a guitar he bought at Manny's. I wrote Cold Gin. The main riff came in my head. I got the rhythm. Hold on, let me see here. I used a Gibson Les Paul Honey Burst that I bought at Manny's Music a couple years. It was a couple years old. So he's talking about a song he wrote in 1974 on a guitar he bought that was a couple years old from Manny's Honey Burst. So it ain't a burst. It ain't a 59 burst. It's a Gibson Les Paul. Okay, it's not a burst. So not only was he not using a burst, using a Les Paul standard, he mixed it with Mr. Studio guy. He mixed it with Fenders. He mixed it with a Strat and a Tele to get a massive sound. So Tom, okay, you're wrong about Eric Clapton woman tone, how he gets it. You're wrong with him making records, plural, with Eric Clapton on it with the burst. You're wrong about raunchy tones being created on Kiss records using a burst. I mean, it's just it just baffles me why anybody even listens to this guy.
Jimmy Page and Zeppelin, you know.
Okay, now this is my problem with all these guys saying Jimmy Page used a burst. Yes, he used a burst. Yes, he did. Okay, yes, he did. In 1972, the pickup went dead. In 1972, the pickup went dead. In late 72, he replaced it with a T-top pickup. During their 72 tour of Australia, the bridge pickup had an issue and was repaired, but was later replaced with a T-top pickup with a chrome cover. So all of these Led Zeppelin records, right? All these great records, Houses of the Holy, Physical Graffiti, live, song remains the same. Presence, I don't think that's good of a record. That's good of a record. Into the Outdoor, not that good of a record. One of the most famous records, Physical Graffiti, House of the Holy. Oh, and by the way, he played Stairway on a telly, played the lead on a telly. So he used a telly on the first record. So he used his quote unquote burst on 1, 2, 3 records. And on this one, he's using a burst with a T-top pickup in it. So it's real disingenuous to say, well, you know, Jimmy Page got his sound with the burst, because he didn't. He didn't get it with a burst. He got it with a 59 Les Paul with a T-top pickup in it. That's not a burst. Everybody's always, oh, the burst, it has those PAFs, they sound so good. Oh, it's all about the PAFs, man. And these bursts, this PA, you can't recreate that PAF sound. It's so great in these bursts. Jimmy Page didn't care. When his pickup went dead, you notice he didn't seek out a PAF. You notice Jimmy Page didn't go, no, we can't put anything in there but a PAF, man. That's the greatest sounding pickup ever. We got to have a PAF in there. You don't think Jimmy Page could have found a PAF in 1972, 1973 to put in his guitar? He could have found 100 of them. Could have found 1,000 of them. Instead, he just had his roadie just went down and bought a T-top straight off the shelf and put it in his guitar. So his burst sound is not using a PAF pickup.
Tom goes to the studio with his baby cube guitar, tries to explain how the burst came so far. He lies about Clapton, kissing Jimmy Page. When it comes to guitar, Tom is no sage. Then he tries to put the vibrato on the simple note. Can't even do that, his play's a joke.
All right, guys, that's it. I'll see you next time.